Right, y'all. It's Talk Shit Tuesday. Big shout out to everybody out there in the Shark Tank. Big shout out to everybody out there on the back street. What's up? What is up? What's up, fellas? That's right, it's Talk Shit Tuesday. Again, big shout out to all my people in the Shark Tank. Big shout out to all my people out there on the back street. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Let me get my shout outs out the way right quick before I get started here. Big shout out to my man, Johnny 5. I see you, fam. Big shout out to Heart and Penny's Kennels. I see you. Eli Monster in the house. What up, fam? Mr. Derek Lockett. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. Chico Nicholas, representing the Dito. What up, fam? The Swap Nest Monster, a.k.a. Melee. I see you, fam. Big shout out to Mr. 216. What up, fam? Yo, my man, Marcus the Great. What up, fam? Big shout out to the Mad Doctor. What up, fam? Big shout out to my brother in the house, Pit Dog. What up, fam? Big shout out to Genetic Rockin'. What up, fam? Yo, 6143. What up, fam? My man, Mr. Johnny Rockets in the house. What up, fam? The Insane Honey Badger. Yo, what up, fam? Big shout out to Mr. Dennis Oliver. I see you, fam. Yo, salute to my man, Mr. King James. What up, fam? King Yoda. What up, fam? RBG Lone Wolf in the house. What up, fam? Let's see who. Again, big shout out represent my brother, Mr. Dennis Oliver. What up, fam? FO4K 1927 in the house. What up, fam? Hey, fellas, appreciate everybody for showing up on this Tuesday night. Been kind of under the weather myself. You know, I got my little device on. And it's been kind of rough for the last couple days here. But I still made it. Hey, didn't really have too much to talk about tonight. Because I've been on this medication. And it's kind of, y'all got to forgive me. You see me looking a little weary here. But, you know, over the last couple shows, we've covered a lot. And one of the things I wanted to start the show off with is, you know, we've been doing this going on 3 years. And y'all got to, you know, for the ones who's been around a while, you know, I don't know if y'all remember the very first video, The Yard. The Yard pretty much was, you know how you have an ideal and you say, you know, you want to start somewhere. And up to that point, we didn't really have a start, so we said we were just going to start from the beginning. And like every dog, man, dealing with these American Pit Bull Terriers, it's always going to be about first things first, the yard. What you want on the yard, how you going to maintain the yard, what you want your yard to look like, how you want your dogs to be housed, what kind of dog man are you going to be, what's going to be the purpose of your yard, that whole rundown. And it's important to understand that because all of us at some point, you know, you're going to go through these things. You know, and that's why I'm always, if you haven't never seen that video, go back to that very first video and think about where we're at today, considering where we started and all the things that we have talked about in between there. Remember, all this has always been about our experience and the people that we gained a lot of knowledge from and a lot of things we got a chance to see and enjoy and having these animals. And one of the hardest things that I find, you know, when it comes down to doing these shows is, are they really getting the message? You know, are you really picking up anything? Because a lot of things, a lot of people have videos. I mean, there's so much information out there that you have to pick and choose what's going to help you. But when it all boils down and you take all that information, you're still going to have to go back and just step back and look at your yard. Your yard. When you look at your yard, how do you feel about your yard? Because in the beginning, for us, when we talked about the yard, I'm trying to give you an example of the yard. The reason I speak so much about that point because in the very beginning, where we started out with 2 dogs, then the 3 dogs, then the 4 dogs, then just being able to house 5 dogs, and then we made that big jump from out of them 5 dogs to 2 dogs, and from 2 dogs to 80 dogs. That meant our breeding program took us 3 years. 3 years. Which meant in order to get to that 80 dog mark, and I mean every last dog of them 80 dogs was on that yard, was bred by us, raised by us, pretty much maintained until the day came to where it came down to us to make the yard smaller. So in order to even have 80 dogs, you understand what it takes to take care of 80 dogs over that time period, as far as raising them, keeping everything, not selling nothing. That took a whole lot. You know what I mean? And understanding that at some point, I mean, even to have the space to do it, look at all that chain space. Each dog, I mean, the yard was big enough that each dog had their own shaded tree. And we had rows and rows and rows of bulldogs. To shorten that down to 40. Because remember, this was all about a plan. You shorten it down 80 to 40, who's going back, who's not going back, finding homes, giving people things that's not going to work on our yard. And that was the key. To raise it all, do right by it, and give everybody a fair chance. Because when you have to make that decision or somebody's got to go, you want to be fair about it. And then when you're fixing to get rid of a lot of dogs, you want to make sure the right people, those dogs get in the right people's hands and they understand these are just good dogs. Nothing else. Because everything else that stayed, it had a purpose. And for us doing that, and you get down to that purpose, the joy of it was to see, your choice, the results, the things that you thought about, the things you made happen. Now, when it gets down to show and tell. Show and tell was this, that show and tell was very important for us, because moving forward, that meant everything on the yard at that point had a purpose. You raise it and you take care of it because of that purpose. That's what we were called. That for us, that's what bulldogging was. And even then, I think we were still in our early 30s, if I believe so. Might have been in the late 20s, early 30s. But we were confident about that yard. Now, understanding the amount of food, and about that time when we had kids where, you know, you're moving that many dogs. We had four wheelers. We had the kids, because the kids love the dogs. So they were around to raise puppies and clean up shit and feed dogs, and that was like it was a family thing. Just like even with the Malamars, the Doberman Pinschers, the kids just always grew up around dogs. The reason I say this, fellas, is because this is not a very easy, you know, this was not something that happened overnight, and I can truly tell you, it's easy to talk about than it is to do. So when I sit down now and I think about when we sit down and do this show, and how Mo gets into these pedigrees and all the work that he put in over all the years, and if you watch him, he knows his way around. But that took years of really being dedicated to what you do, and that dedication is hard. I mean, and the reason I say that, because if you're dedicated to something, you're trying to know every aspect of it. Like for me, in the Corps, I was a sniper. I love shooting my rifle. I was the expert. But when I was chose to take on sniper school, something totally different. You know, I already know how. I figure I know how to shoot, but dealing with that sniper training was so different, because sniper teams were basically a two-man team, and you had the spotter and you had the shooter. I was a designated shooter, but I had a spotter. And when you dedicated to something, like me and this guy was, my spotter was just as dedicated as I was, because they got, you know, when you're training, they get this thing in your head, you know, you got to get there, you got to conceal yourself, and you got to get back. You don't have no help. And so you had to learn everything that was associated with getting there and getting back. You know, and the fact that if once you get there, take care of your purpose, and then know how and when to get back. And the Corps helped me understand that dedication of, you know, that dedication means paying attention, learn from your mistakes, limit the amount of mistakes you make. These dogs, with the proper dedication, you're going to limit your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but if you're dedicated to it, you're going to learn not to make the same mistakes. You know, we know how to heal them up, know how to deal with all the diseases, deal with all the things that come with these dogs. You learn all that whole process. That takes years, gentlemen. So for the guys who be like been in dogs 30, some 40 years, even some of the older guys way longer than we have. That to me, when you spend that much time, you gotta know something. You gotta know something. And that to me, that dedication and the love of the animal, I don't know if we stress that enough, because we generally just jump in here and we just dive right in. But the reality of it is, you have to really be dedicated, know what you want, to understand how it's so easy for us to be wrapped up in this dog game for so many years. And for those who have in the past who spent those years, like look at Earl. Look at all. First of all, look at all the dog men who died. You know, dealing with these dogs. I mean, when I say died, they spent their whole entire lives dealing with the American Pit Bull Terrier. Their whole lives. The dedication and all that goes with it. All the many dogs that pass through their hands. That's a story in itself. And it's hard to tell that kind of story because in order to get the full impact of what I'm saying is you really have to do it. You know, some of y'all might have been in 5 and 10 years, and even for 5 and 10 years, that's a long time. But when you get up into that 20, 25, 30, you know, you're an OG to it. And then you look back and think about, for the ones that's out there, just think back and look at the amount of time you actually spent and all the things that you went through. Look what your story would look like. Imagine if all the guys, and I know I got some lifers, you know, that's what we call them, you know, in the Marine Corps, and you spend all those are lifers. So I'm going to call all my dog men, they're lifers to spend anything over 20 years. Think back on what that was like. You can't really explain to them the real impact of what that's really like. The amount of shit that you had to go through all those years with these dogs. And it's important to understand that because in the now, you know, it's the reality of it is a lot harder to do because, you know, now the binoculars is on you, all eyes on you type of situation. So that adds just another part of the headache to the game for the American Pit Bull Terrier dog man. But can you stay dedicated? How important is it to be dedicated to something that you love? Because for us, it was always the dogs first. You know, regardless of what the situation was, the dogs looked good, ate good, beautiful condition. Just, you know, it's like only, you know, having your own boxers, you know, being the agent of your own, you know, the owner of your own team. Fellas, that part, we can't, you know, we can show the passion, but there's nothing like the experience. So when I hear guys, you know, knocking other guys, you know, even when they knock us, you know, my thing was, you know, if you put in the time and you put in the work, you really don't have to say nothing because your work will speak for itself. And that's the thing about being dedicated and becoming a lifer with these dogs. Because you don't have to really say much because your work will speak for itself. History has shown us that. We still talk about those old guys. And it's it's true. Even for us, we still talk about the old guys. So it's always important, fellas, to understand that this game right here is, you know, it's more than just a hobby. It's a lifestyle. It is really a lifestyle. And to be a lifer, you have to love it. So I don't think we say that enough. I don't think we put enough emphasis on that. And then the other thing was, you know, getting back to that very first video of the yard, because that very first video was basically giving you an idea of everything that we did coming off that very first video. Y'all haven't seen us come back and talk about the upkeep and how we used to sew the dogs, how to use the stitches, and how to get the warmer, how to get the microscope and know what you're looking for, how important it is to do that. Because for us, when you got as many dogs as we had, imagine trying to take all those dogs to a vet. You better learn. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to do it. And and believe it or not, gentlemen, that whole time that me and my brother did this, we had jobs. We had businesses that we had to run. But we always had time to keep the dogs in shape, in order, yards clean. Remember, it took a family to do that. But everybody, to each his own. Everybody has different things going on in their life. But I just wanted to just bring that up because it's important to understand that we understand what it means to have American pit bulls, and for people to come and sit down and watch these videos, share their time with us, and I think it's important for you guys to know we know your struggle. We understand your struggle, and if anything that we do in these videos, I hope you can get out of it is information that's going to make you better at the task that you're at. Because we speak a lot of history, but then in the process of speaking that history, because you got to understand the history of anything that you do, because pretty much it's not too much that we done that somebody else hadn't already done. You know, and you'll notice that because we say it all the time. It's okay to copycat. It is. We all, everybody don't want to admit it, but you're not coming up with nothing brand new. You're not. But the process is always going to be the same. The only difference is the dedication. How dedicated are you to achieving the goal you set when you first created your yard? What dog man are you going to be? Because that's where it starts at. The yard. And the dedication and the effort and the knowledge that's going to make you a lifer. And it's hard to sit down and talk to a lifer that know what they talking about. It's hard to talk to them if you don't know what you're talking about. Because I always say it, you know, when a real bulldog man or somebody that we knew walked in a room and we knew who it was and they had the ears on us, we were quieter than church mice. We would sit there and we would just listen. Just listen. Because there was so much information that they would be willing to give when you were listening. Same thing with these videos. When you're not in the Shark Tank, or maybe you just at home and you just hit that play button and just listen, you'd be surprised at what you might hear that you didn't catch the first time. Because we're getting to the point, I mean, this last sickness I had has, it was a rough one. It was rough for me. And if you notice, it's been like that kind of rough. I've been down. Y'all see me Friday, and you see a different me today. But it brings me back to why I'm saying what I'm saying today. because today is Talk Shit Tuesday, and I just want to sit back and talk dogs. But I'm gonna let Mo do that part. You know how I do my part. This is my gift to you by just getting this thing started because I just want y'all to understand that we do understand that you guys put in a lot of work. You're going to be putting in a lot of time. But you have to stay dedicated to what you're doing. You have to have a purpose to be dedicated to anything. A lot of people, you know, I've dealt with a lot of people over the years dealing with these dogs. A lot. And it's just one of them things that I don't take nobody for granted when it comes down to what they do and how they do it. Because their dedications will show. Y'all know how this works. The more dedicated you are, the less you have to say because it's going to always show in your work. Your dogs are going to be better. Your work is going to be better. Your yard's going to look better. Everything is just, y'all see some of these videos. You see some of the yards. People put in time and all that for the love of the dog. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't hate on people who put in that type of work. I do not hate on people who put in that type of work. And you can look at a yard. You can just see how a dog man is by just look at his yard. The yard will speak for the man himself. And that alone will help you determine a man that's that dedicated, you can imagine what kind of dogs he got. Because for us, it was never about selling dogs. Because selling dogs was never our purpose. I don't knock nobody who sells dogs. It's kind of funny that I say that because we end up selling dogs when Mo got out of it, but then when we jumped back in it, we still had dogs. I still had dogs where we could just pick right back up where we left off at. But our goal was never to be puppy peddlers or take the going hard line and be out here selling dogs like that's going to be the new thing. And maybe that's our fault. We weren't breeders. Remember, there's a lot of things that we did if you look back on it and say, dang, look at all the things that we could have did different. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things in your life you could sit back and say, knowing what I know now, look at all the things I would do different. But that's late. Yeah, because we can't really go back there and fix all that. But that's what your history looks like. You can think about it because as you learn more, and understand the outcome based on the things you did, like, yeah, we used steroids back then. Did we really care if it was going to affect our breeding program? No. Didn't bother us. But the thing that we didn't know, and I know that we didn't know, is how to cycle them off the steroids. But because of what we did, we were matching so many dogs. It was, remember you had 40 dogs. We had a lot of two-time winners, one-time winners because when you ran through the first bunch, and you just kept going, and then you kept going, and you just kept going. Didn't always want to go to the show and watch everybody. You at least wanted to have something to take with you. We just always felt it was important to always have something to take with you. Be on some of the great cards, be able to see some of the great things and be a part of it. Not everybody has to be like that. That doesn't make us better dog men. That was just the dog men that we were trying to be. Don't take nothing away from what other people do. That's just who we were. So the dedication to be able to maintain that and do that is what I'm talking about. Again, to each his own. My thing is, regardless of what you do and how you do it, be dedicated to it. Dedication will always be seen in your work. So I'm gonna turn this over to my brother. Let me see if I can get anybody else that came in. Union Country Kennels, I see you, fam. Shreveport Mike, I see you, fam. I don't know, my man Eli Monster, what up, fam? Mr. Hemi James, my man, longtime supporter, still. What's happening, fam? Mr. O, what up, fam? Reed Royalty Kennels, yo, 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 what up, fam? Bloodthirst in the house, what up, fam? I think I'm all caught up. On you, bro. What up, everybody? What's going on here? What up, y'all? See what we got here. Sure enough, I see you, fam. Fresh dog, I see you, fam. See, you missed a lot of people, Mike. Nah, I got him. He just came between. Okay, what's up? What we got? What's on you, bro? Oh, Lord. I didn't have no special nothing. Well, it's gonna be a short night tonight, y'all. I got Triple M. He's sending me pictures. I don't know if I'll be able to get him on because I'm on the screen here. But Mike was talking about the dedication thing and what y'all do with the dogs. I call him preacher when he be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't know if it's just by habit. You know, I guess when you're doing something, you're dedicated to it. You don't even be thinking about dedication when you up and doing it. Me, I've been doing these dogs and either training them, taking care of them, and it's almost like automatic. I automatically wake up every morning and take care of my dogs. I feed them, I clean up shit. You know what I mean? I water them. And then every 4 hours after that, I always try to make it a point on the younger dogs to move them around. Because, they gotta stay busy. So I don't know if it's what I call dedication. I just call it habit. I just move by habit. I wake up automatically at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm always done doing what I'm doing with the dogs by 7 o'clock. Then I can sit down and eat my breakfast, drink me a cup of coffee, But everything, I always look at it like what makes me do it. I can't tell you. It's just by habit. And I don't do it half-ass. It's like I have a routine and I stick to that routine. You know, even if it get moved a little, say if it's raining, then I put on my boots and my rain suit. I ain't worried about the dogs getting wet. They dogs. As long as I don't get wet, come on, y'all. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think I just think it's habit. I don't know if it's dedication or not, but I just know I do it by habit. And by me doing it by habit, and it's a constant routine, even the dogs get used to being part of that habit. You know, they're up moving around at 5 o'clock. I remember I used to be on the yard, and you could they would know I'm coming because I'm coming down through there with the 4-wheeler. So you hear everybody sounding off until I get there. Once they see me get there, they all get quiet because I expect it to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? When I'm feeding and cleaning. I don't like them all barking and none of that. So, by habit, after a while, you can hear them barking as I'm coming, but then as soon as they see me, y'all will get quiet. Because if they don't, I'm on the 4-wheeler with my little PVC pipe, riding down and wondering why you're standing here barking. And after a while, like I said, I guess my habit became their habit. It's just like my little Malinois. These puppies have been doing this certain thing so long since they were puppies. See, when I feed them and I put their pans down, I don't let them go running to their pans. I used to do this as puppies. I used to guard the pan like I'm the alpha dog. I just put the pan in there. I don't want nobody running up on this pan. Everybody get back. If you run up on it, I'm popping you. Get back, get back, get back. No, get back. So they learn to don't run up to the pan. You know what I'm saying? And as we kept doing it day by day, I'm teaching them how to freeze when I come with the pan. But now I'm adding another step to it. I would have them sit down. You know what I'm saying? And they don't understand what sit means, but all you got to do is start teaching them what it means. And then you just take the time. If they sit for a second and move, I go, no. Push their butt back down. Don't move. Don't move. Now, months later, and they're not even a year old, they got their own little cages. When I'm feeding them, they're right there. Everybody's pointed up there waiting on me to come. And when I come to them and I stick them pans in there, they go right to the far end of their cage and they'll go over there and they'll sit there. Now imagine 5 dogs sitting in the corner of their cages with their food pans, waiting. They want to eat, but every single one of them will sit there until I give them the word to eat. And and it's just amazing to me sometimes, cause I always tell Mike, you ought to be taking videos of this stuff. Because as they progress, and do these things, the end results are doing something every day by habit. By habit. I mean, even Chaos, I keep him away from all the other dogs. But when I make them say the word for the other dogs to release them to go and start eating, he automatically comes because he knows the next thing he knows when he hears that word, he knows I'm putting his pan with his food down. And he knows exactly where it's going to be. So he could be in the other room. And he knows when he hears that word, he's going to come and he's going to run up to his pan and he's going to stand there and he's going to sit right there in front of his pan waiting for me to release him into his pan. Mayhem the same way. And, it looks kind of slick, because I didn't really work hard to do it. I just did it constantly, day after day. Now, if you do something like that day after day, it becomes a routine. And to them, they have lives too, and their lives is with me. So it's just amazing to sit back and see, something I started when they were very young, and they're like 8 months old now, and the routine that was being done on them every day, how they didn't, everybody's part of it now. Everybody works like clockwork. It's like being in the Marine Corps again. I'm the Marine drill instructor, and these are the recruits. Everybody know what's going to happen next. After they get done eating, it's time for them to go out and use the potty. I don't have to sit out there and let my dogs run around and wait. No. Every one of my dogs know by constant habit that when I say go potty, you know what I'm saying? They know what that means. We ain't got all day to do it, because I got too many of y'all to go running through here. Because none of them stay outside. So when I let them out and say go potty, they go potty. I take chaos and mayhem up to a certain part of an area, and everything is training time. When I'm taking them out and I'm walking them, that's my training time with the older dogs. I got to keep chaos sharp. I have to keep mayhem sharp. So that little time I have with them en route for them to go potty, that's where I get my little training time and the things that I do with them. Hopefully when they warm up or gets, sooner or later, I'm going to take a video of these dogs and the things that they can do by just everyday routine that I do with them, which comes by habit. They like this, they automatically know, the routine right along with me, and it's amazing if you do that, they become part of that routine where they know exactly what to do. I have a certain area that I want them to go potty at, because if I'm not doing it on the yard with the older dogs because I'm taking them out, I got a little place where I keep my little red flags. And that red flag is wherever they shit at, I put a flag. So when I take them back, then I get on my e-bike and I ride back up and pick up shit, and put my flags back in their little spot, and it's on to the next day. It's just the things that they do. They'll go take and use the potty, come back over there. One sits on the right side, the other one sits on the left. When they get done, I'm just standing there. They'll go and do their thing, come right back over there and sit right there in their positions. Now they know the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to release them out of command, and I'm going to tell them to go, because they're Malinois. And they know they can't wait for that moment, because when it's time for them to go, they know what's coming. So I'll say either like take off, and then they just take off. And if you ever seen a Malinois run, they damn near run like cheetahs. I mean, they can fly. And it's the time that they get a chance to really blow out. Guys, I do this every day. I'm doing this like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's a routine that we do every day, to the point that even if I wanted to change, I still have to, they're going to be in a position, because we're so used to doing this, that they're going to do everything like clockwork. They go potty, they come right back over there, sit down. They know I'm getting ready to set them off, where they can just take off and explode. Then I call them back, they come back, they sit down right there where they in their positions, and they wait for me to do it again, because I do it 3 times, where I can let them just exert themselves, blow themselves out. Not in it. 8, got their water, got taken out, got their training time in, go potty. It don't take them but 5 minutes to take care of their business. Because I don't sit there and let them run around and sniff everything now. When I go holler and go potty, they know exactly what that means. They have their certain spots and I have a certain area, so I don't have to go all over the place. This is the area I want it in, and by habit, and continuously doing it every day, they know exactly what I expect from them. It looks kind of slick. Even looks slick to me, because it's something we have done so much, so many times, that they automatically know what they're supposed to be doing. So it really does look slick. It looks slick to me. And then by the time I take them and walk them back home, they done blew out. They done used the bathroom, they potty, and we're heading back to the house, and then they'll sleep all day. They'll sleep all day, all the way up till, usually if I have to go out, I take everybody out around 12 o'clock. The young dogs, I have a kennel with this open out. I take them out and cut them loose in the kennel one at a time. I don't let everybody out. I just let them out one at a time. And they do the same thing that the older dogs do. When I take them out, they already know their place. I do it, each dog like this, in order. So they know who's next. You know what I'm saying? That's the funny thing. Number one, he already know he gonna be the first one to go out. He knows when he go out, he knows that everybody else coming up behind him. So he know I'm gonna be really on him to hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me out here fussing at you. If you ain't speeding up or your attention then got away from using the potty, I'm going off. You better tighten up. You better hurry up. I'm Marine Corps drill instructor up on these puppies. And it just makes it's funny because I do it so much. It's just how they're responding and falling into place. I mean, just like you said, I do with the big dogs, I do it with the young dogs, and everything works just that quick. As soon as they piss, as soon as they shit, I'm right on top of it. I like scraping my ground wherever they piss. I got enough dirt where I'm always taking my dirt and raking over their piss. And immediately cleaning up their shit, making space where it's automatically clean for the next dog. Got the next dog in, they come in, they immediately take off the piss. Then they find their little favorite spot that they take their shit at, and I rake that part up with the piss, rake up the shit, and take them back in the house. And it's amazing that when I had all those dogs, out there, and how they would do the exact same thing, y'all. As soon as they hear that four-wheeler, they get quiet. As soon as they see me at the top of the yard, I'm talking about I have rows of dogs. And they know nobody's supposed to be barking. Nobody's supposed to be acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want me to get their attention and have to come down there and deal with it. And it really, it was totally amazing. You know what I'm saying? To everybody who ever came to the yard and actually see me in my routine. To how all those bulldogs would sit there. And then when I walk into their chain space, they knew automatically to get out the way. He's going to come in, he's going to put my food down, I'm going to start eating, then he's going to come back down, and he's going to snatch my pan, and then he's going to give me my water, and then he's going to come back down, and by the end, you better been had shit and pissed. Because if you hadn't shit and pissed, I'm coming back and I'm mad. Come down through there, and I'm looking, what did you doing? You over here bullshitting around, stop playing. You know what I mean? Because I don't like shit on the ground. I mean, I have a phobia, y'all. I mean, you always heard me say that. I don't like shit around my dogs. Period. I mean, that is just something that's always been me. My puppies, I have drop floors where, grills, they walk on the grills because I don't want puppies stepping in their own shit. I never liked it. When I had the little puppies in there with the newspaper, I had layers of newspaper. I'd take them cages and put about 5 or 6 stacks of newspaper all around it. So when they used the bathroom, all I had to do was go in and just roll up the top layer and come right back in there and throw another layer of paper right over it. Because I just could not stand the thought of puppies stepping in their shit or my dogs stepping in shit. And it's always been that way. And I'm telling you, I'm probably one of the only guys, a few guys that really have a phobia about their yard. I think if there's one thing that I stay pinpoint on, and it's been this for over 40 something years, when I had Dobermans, when I had Shepherds, that was my pet peeve. That was my pet peeve. It's like I train every single one of these dogs to shit and piss and don't take all day because I'm coming through and I don't want to have to come back. And when I used to do it, I would go all the way to the end. When I was on the yard, I go all the way to the end, pick up bowls, and then come back down. And by the time I get back down to the end, I'm regular shit. You know what I do? I go all the way back up. I go all the way back up, and I come back down again. Because usually, after a dog eats, they need a little movement. They need a little movement to work that gut ready. Especially when, they have the routine down. When you got the routine down, everybody dumps. I give them 5 minutes, because I pick up the pans, and when on the farm, I used to carry big old plastic barrels, and in them barrels was my bleach water. I had a barrel of bleach water, and then I had my rinse water, and then I had my drinking water. I would clean the bowls in the bleach water, rinse it off, stack it, because I never leave their food pans out. Then I would grab their drinking bowls, and I would dip them in, clean them out. You know what I'm saying? Rinse that out. And then when I put it down, I'm taking my little scoop of water thing, and I'm filling up the water. And this was like, and to this day, guys, I still do that shit. Now, might call it dedication. I call it means to making the job easy. That's what I call it. Doing it something in the same way so much that not only did it become a habit for me, it became a habit for them. And that's, I don't know, I just can't really put it on dedication. Not me, because I don't look at it. I mean, imagine why you doing it. Are you saying, man, I must be dedicated to this shit? No, I don't think I'd be thinking like that. I'd be thinking like, this is something that I do. And this is something that I do every day. And it's like a by habit situation. I'm always telling the guys, I got guys call me all the time. They have a sick dog, there's something always. And when I tell them something, It's like, now I done told y'all, you know, get your microscopes, get your fecal collector, get your solution, get your slides, and check your dogs. So when you call me and you telling me the dog was losing weight, and I asked, did you worm him? Yeah, I wormed him. Yeah, I definitely wormed him. I said, well, what kind of worms did they have? I don't know. I just figured I'd just go ahead and worm them, but so you don't have a microscope yet. How much that dog food cost you? You know what I'm saying? Remember, I talked about the chain space. Chain space. Remember, every dog on a chain costs you money. That chain space has a value to it. Your food, your water, your time, your medicine, all that is invested on every chain space, every caged animal, all the way down to the puppies. If you want to continue to have a safe, clean, healthy yard, and I'm anal about that, then I'm going to have a day that I'm going to have my bag and I'm going to be collecting shit. Got my little tape, got my marker, and I'm taking samples. And on that day, I spend the whole morning, writing these names down, checking their shit, and if they have worms, I write it right there or what kind they have. I used to have permethane mixed, and I had me one of them old agriculture sprayers, the kind that you can hook to your four-wheeler with the barrel, and it had the motor on it. You had the mixture mixed in there, and it had the motor where all I had to do was hold the wand and spray. Well, I used to mix it and come down to my yard and spray my yard. I had underground well because remember I lived on an orange. I had all the trees on the yard were orange trees. So there was I had a big old tank, that pumped out water, and I used to always fill up my big tank because I had one of the underground wells. So I always had water. And I used to take it, and I would, once a week, I would come down through there with the permethane. And surprising, guys, if you was to really take and spray your yard, once a week with permethane, mixed with water, you know what I'm saying? You will not have a lot of flies, especially if you keep the shit off the ground. Because, one, I never had a flea problem. That was one. Not a flea problem. Two, when I check for worms, I don't know whether it's the permethane or what it was, but that permethane, I didn't ever have ants. All the creepy crawlies would just be gone. It's from me spraying the yard. From spraying the yard, I didn't even have ants. I didn't have a lot of flies. Because what they flying around for. There's no shit to fly on. But all these things that I did were I thought was routine to make my job go quicker. I had just literally felt like I came up with the perfect way to take care of the yard. And I don't know. Mike says, I heard Mike talking like it's dedication. I just never seen it as dedication. I always seen it as a plan. I set the plan, I maintained the plan, I stayed with the plan, and I could do a bunch of dogs, clean them up, and have a perfect yard. By the time I'm done, everybody's sitting back chilling. You know what I'm saying? And when I leave the yard, I know every dog is gonna be okay. Now, it seems like a lot, but back then it wasn't a lot to me. Seems like a lot now, me being sick, but I think that's what helps me stay alive. Literally, I really think that's what helped me stay alive. That responsibility. Now, I don't know if you can call it dedication or not, but I just call it a responsibility. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to have a plan in the way I do it. And I stick to that. And while I'm sticking to that, they're stuck to the routine of me sticking to my routine. So microscopes don't cost, but you can get them off of eBay. I got mine for $60. I got the 10, 40, and the 100. And how many guys out there went out and bought microscopes? And I know a lot of y'all that did. It saves so much because one dude, he act like he had a microscope. I put it like that. He act like he had one. Matter of time. You know what I'm saying? But what happened was his dog got sick. So he started doing the worming. Yeah. He had coccidia. It was a young dog. Coccidia. But did he ever check? Well, leaving it up to him, yeah, he checked. Because you got a microscope, you can see coccidia, gardenia, and any type of worm you need to see if you're taking the samples and putting it under the microscope. Okay? A month go by, and one particular day, he seen a worm stuck in her butt. He got to get the worm. So I'm like, well, did you check 10 days later? Guys, when you worm your dog, know what you're worming them for. Know what type of worm you're dealing with. You worm your dog, 10 days, you should be collecting samples for every dog that you worm. Because some dogs are not going to have it. Some dogs are still going to have it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's important, because worm medicine costs a lot. But it's so much cheaper to collect your shit, take a little time, check your shit, and know what you're dealing with. Why worm a dog that doesn't need worming? Just because you worm that dog, that you just, I'm going to go ahead and worm them all just to make sure. That's not economically feasible. And if you're doing that, you're still in the wind. Because how often do you do it? And how did you notice your treatment even worked if you never went back to check? You just assuming I gave him one 3 or 4 days in a row. And I do advise some guys to give their dogs, the PP, the parent dog, 3 to 5 days. Just like you would do panicure, with the, for the tapeworms. Because sometimes it really, down here in Florida, you may have to do that. I just think when your dog ain't gaining weight, is either from one of the other issues was when they're not gaining weight. Check your gums. Is there still flow in the mouth? You push the gum, let it go like we do our finger, and then you squeeze it hard enough It's like it's turning white because you're squeezing off the blood to your tips. Then as soon as you let it go, it starts filling up with blood again. Well, you do the same thing with the gum. Peel the gum up and push it into the gum. And if they're dry, you're going to notice because when your finger comes off the gum, you're also watching how fast the little dent you put in there fills back up. Or did it fill back up with blood, but you can still see where you pushed your finger? Then that's an indication that your dog is dry. It's not always you can tell by pulling the coat. But if you push into it on the dog's gum, like me pushing into my skin, if it's dry, it's gonna still, you might fill that back up with blood, but you're gonna still see that little indent, and it's gonna take a little bit of time to come back up to the norm. That animal is dry. And when they're outside and you're taking care of them, and you got them in like an area where it's hot, during the summertime and very cold in the wintertime, you have to kind of keep your eye on that. Always check the gums, because gums is going to tell you if there's something wrong. Pale gums, indication there's something wrong. Runny shit is an indication there's something wrong. If your dog's shitting funny and you don't have no microscope, then everything you're doing is a guess. It's a guess. You don't know why your dog is shitting diarrhea. The first thing you want to do is start giving them Corid and Prococcidia, antibiotics, warmer, but you don't even know really what it is because you don't have the little thing, which is the microscope, to literally take your sample and check it and see. Check it and see. I just think when it comes to caring for them, whether they are treadmillers, confirmations, I made a mistake one time and it was I was using some kind of carbohydrate drink that I was, had one and keep in, never really paid attention because it said, it was vanilla, one of them flavor types. But I was wondering why, my dogs kept running hot. And you know what it was, guys? I looked on the label. I started checking my labels and seeing, is there anything that I'm feeding them that's causing this problem? And you know what it was? It was the vanilla flavored carbo drink. Because when I looked into the ingredients, guess what it had in there? Cocoa oil. I guess cocoa oil has something to do with the flavor of the vanilla, but there was cocoa oil in there. And dogs can't do cocoa. They can't do chocolate. That's a poison to a dog. Yeah, I've been doing this for all these years, and that was the first lesson that I ever ran across. I missed that. I didn't read what I was feeding or what I was giving. I only assumed, and when I assumed, it went on, several times. Run into the situation, never thinking about it being the carbo drink that was doing it. something has told me there's something that I'm feeding them that's doing this. So I just took everything that I was given and started looking at what was in it to see if there's something I'm giving them out of these products that I'm using that's causing this. Know what dogs can't eat. People say they get their dogs table scraps. Well, do you know when you give your dog table scraps, they get real fat real quick. But did you ever think about the danger of giving table scraps? Some dogs just can't eat certain spices that you put on your food. You have to be careful of that. The spices, we're seasoning our food when we eat. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're done taking the food that you don't eat and giving it to the yard dog or passing the food out like that to your pups or your grown dog, be careful. Be careful. Another situation was medicine. A lot of guys call about medicine. If you ask me a question, I put it like this. I don't never like telling people something and they do what I tell them, but they add the plus sign to it. If I tell you to do something, do exactly what I told you. I don't care what this person told you or that person told you, and you're going to take it up on yourself to kind of integrate them thinking you're doing something smart. If, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Don't do that because you're going to mess up. I've seen a good dog, die from that. A good one. Told to do one thing, he figured it wouldn't hurt to add a little something else to it, and did something else. And what that something else was, where the dog was feeling good that night, that morning it was, lethargic, and 4 or 5 hours later, dropped dead. So when you're talking, I'm asking questions. What happened? I was doing great. What did you do? Go back to and tell me what you did. Exactly what you did. Well, I was about 11, 12. We were getting ready to lay on down, and I was going to sit on down. I figured, I give him another, another pill. You know what I'm saying? So he can, I figured, too much is never bad. No. Well, what he gave that dog is what caused the dog's death. Because literally what the dog was given during his treatment shouldn't have been given nothing else for another 12 hours. And by him doubling up, giving him thinking, I guess to spike it or whatever, cost the dog the life. So you got to be careful, guys. I talk to a lot of you guys out there, and I hear a lot. Everybody has a mentor. Everybody has a mentor. But one of the funniest things that happened to me when I listen to some of these things these guys be telling me, and they got it from their mentor, the first thing I'd be wanting to ask is, what really do your mentor know? You know what I'm saying? Because to an old head like me, I'm like, imagine a guy who's got some guys under his wing. And because he got those guys under his wing, that classifies him as a mentor, which is true. But we're talking about, let's check his credentials as a mentor. Where you believe in what he says, you do what he say, But when it gets back to me and I'm listening, I'm looking at it like you're listening to somebody who's telling you a lot of shit wrong. You know? But this and this and this, I wouldn't care. You know, I'm not going to tell you what you're not to do. But, you know, there's been many of these mentors that I've had to really get these guys to really look with common sense. Think about it. You know, that's how I get it. I get you with common sense. Because it is. Once I put the seed there, let the common sense kick in. All I did is planted the seed. The common sense is going to make it grow. You know what I'm saying? So keep your ears open. You know. And the reason why I'm speaking on that now is because there's going to be, I think the game is going to turn into a lot of guys getting more involved into the show game. You know what I mean? I think everybody's getting used to, you know, the CNN News and PDK. You know, I don't hear too many people fussing about it anymore. I mean, me, I always thought it was a wise thing. You know, I'm pretty sure that the underground appreciate it because, you know, some parts of the country, don't you think that, you know, the underground really does need to know. You know, you really do need to know that they got night vision on. You know what I mean? I guarantee you they're not complaining. You know? So I mean I'm not I'm more of a I just believe in, you know, the news. When I want to watch the news, I turn it on. When I want to see what's happening, I turn it on. Catch it early in the morning while I'm moving around the dogs. You know, I get a chance to see what's going on in my own city. Or I might be wanting to check and see what's going on in the world, you know. But it's good to know certain things. So always, you know, regardless of what you're doing, watch the news. You know, stay up on certain things. And I think I was telling you guys about the show. You know, I think I had one comment about, you know, the shows with the baiting thing. I don't know what state you live in, but my question would be, and I would really like the answer to that part too. What we do with the dog at the dog shows, right? Well, I don't feel like that's baiting, but it say anytime you putting two dogs in front of each other and they're, if you were to let them go, they would fight. Then that's like you're baiting your dog to fight, even if you are not fighting. But could we use the show ring as confirmation in a confirmation show? Because I've seen that before. I was at Tom's. I've seen it at South Bottom. You know, and I see it several times, you know, on the internet, you know, and then you see it, you know, in videos back in our day. If the law is calling that baiting, and in that charge alone, they can come and take your dogs. Don't you think we need clarification before we continue doing that? I mean, what happens if the PETA or one of them organizations start calling it baiting? You know, I would like to talk to the ADBA. I might want to talk to Patty and ask her, how do you get around the baiting thing when we letting the dog swing out in the confirmation shows? Is that part of training? Is you know, when it comes to competing in confirmation, and we want to check a dog's drive, let the dog be free, as long as you got him under control, and let them kind of rah-rah at each other, would that be considered baiting? If there was a police to come up, or animal control, or PETA to come up and see us doing this, would they classify what we're doing as baiting? And would they call that illegal? See, I don't have nothing against it. My thing was, for a chance, it can happen based on what happened to me. And mine was training. I just didn't push the issue because it was baiting. I wish I could have used the training aspect of it because that's exactly what it was. But can we say the same far as the competition? Can we say, the level of the competition, that when the dogs are doing this, we can't be charged for baiting? We're checking our dog's drive. What would be the answer? I know up to times, I can understand Tom because, Tom like running the community. I think he just got it like that. But what about others? You know what I mean? What about others? That I really hope we can get in a little deeper with that conversation there. Because here in the state of Florida, they call it baiting. Look, they call it baiting, and then you have baiting for the purpose of dog fighting. Now, what did that mean? If you charge me for baiting, there's two baitings in Florida law. They got baiting, and then they got baiting for the purpose of. Now, I got found guilty. I got found guilty of baiting. You know what I mean? But I got found not guilty of all the dog fighting charges. But here's my question. Could they have got me for baiting for the purpose of dog fighting? You know what I'm saying? Based on what I was doing in the video, if I wanted to fight them, I'd have let them go. What stopped me from fighting them? Because evidently I didn't fight them, but it was still considered baiting, which is against the law. And if I'm explaining to you that I was checking a dog's animal aggression, I'm using an aggressive dog, and I'm facing him into a dog that the guy's having problems with being animal aggressive, and I'm pointing out things to showing him this dog, you make him tired, put weights on him, take him and run the hell out of him, get him real tired, you know what I'm saying? And now put a dog in front of him. A game bulldog, he'll probably still take the last breath that he got and get up and get to the end of that chain. You know what I'm saying? I just know a true game dog will do that regardless of whatever the extremities he's going through. He's going to try to give you a game scratch. But is it worth taking the chance of the neighbors seeing it or somebody saying, they had these dogs running up at each other, barking at each other, you know what I'm saying? And they turn around and call that baiting. And you know, if they the law, you know, they quick to say baiting for the purpose of dog fighting, and then you rather have to go to court or a trial just to sit there and say, how can I be baiting for dog fighting, but my dog didn't do no fighting? Or what did you mean when you say baiting for the purpose of dog fighting? What do you mean by that? Or because we use a chicken in a cage while they run the mill, or you know, a wild animal that, you know, a rabbit or something like that, you know, they would consider that baiting. They call that baiting. So how do you, you know, how do you work around that? How do you get around that? And what do they mean when they say training? You can accept us doing it if it's pertaining to training, but can we call the confirmation show a part of the training? See, those are questions that I reach out to all y'all so we can spread that, because I see an oncoming problem. You know, I see something that can really give everything the guys is out here trying to do right a problem. I mean, it's bad enough. Imagine you on YouTube one day or on Facebook putting up a video of your dog, one's tied up here, the other's tied up here, and you using a flirt pole in the middle, and they study rah 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 at it, right? And then all of a sudden you got the people at your door, all because of that video. What did you do wrong in that video where they could have took that piece, that video, and took it to a judge, and the judge granted them a search warrant to come and confiscate your dogs? What's going on in that video that would constitute that? God, there is a gray area there. Lord knows, what if you got a treadmill sitting out there in the back? You know, the first thing they're going to stamp you with is a dog fighting stamp. And anything and everything that they can come up with to make it look bad, make you look bad, to make it, you know, prejudice the look. Just the prejudice of them speaking that way, knowing it's not true, but this them speaking it when you're talking to the law and we stand in front of the law, we know what's not true. You know what I mean? But law seems like they're going to do what they want to do anyway. You know, they're just going to make you look like a bad person. A lot of these cases that I see when it comes to the dogs, you know what I'm saying, is these guys weren't doing anything wrong. No. I mean, I got 2 search warrants served on me when they came and hit my yard. In the long run, I'm going to show them to you. One of these days, I'm going to show them to you and listen to what was said. Didn't have no pictures, but he was able to get a search warrant. Everything he said on there was pretty fucked up, but a judge signed a search warrant with no pictures, really no evidence. Not the meat part of it. It was no evidence. But to come out with a baiting charge and all those other charges not guilty, and in the warrant itself with all this messed up stuff, it never even showed up. I've never been charged with no kind of neglect, mistreatment, stress, you know what I mean? All that stuff right there. Never been charged, not even a misdemeanor, let alone a felony. Never. You know what I mean? But they made my case look like a bad guy. Imagine, guys, if y'all was doing this and y'all got swimming tanks and treadmills and breaking sticks. These are things that we're all allowed to have. Aren't we? You know what I'm saying? Aren't we? But these are the very same things that they can walk and be like, doing a welfare check. We got an anonymous call. You know, they always use that. We got an anonymous call. We're just doing a welfare check to check on your yard. Okay. If you ain't got no fence around your yard, they're not going to even knock on your door until they come off your yard. They probably been on your yard and then finally came back and knocked on your door. Because if you can't block them out, they're not supposed to, from what I know, but they'll walk in your backyard. And that's something that, for all you newcomers, man, what you're talking about, our old time gave it a bad name. Well, I don't know about us being old, and what we did back then is what caused the things to be done now. But one thing that I know, all these years later, is still being done. If you have American Pit Bull Terrier, you have to down there have the dog on a muzzle when you're walking them down the street, because they show you no mercy if a little mutt runs out there in front of your dog and your dog snatch him up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be the one getting in trouble just because, what do you have that type of dog for? I mean, that's what I hear. Or they do a welfare check, and they want to know if your dog got all their shots or you registered with the county. See, that gives them proper cause to really start being nosy. And they start being nosy. And anytime they get nosy, it's not too many popos out here, y'all, that I trust. It's better not to say nothing. It's better not to say nothing. Because whatever you say, they're going to twist it to their narrative. And when it comes to having to deal with the court system, the very same people that we pay to represent us probably be having lunch and dinner with the people that's judging us or prosecuting us. Yeah. So this is what I'm noticing in today's game. And then how do you get out of it? Did anybody ever ask Triple J how he was able to keep his dogs? They got walk 'em all, like y'all say, y'all can have them. But they never charged him. Now, those are the little things that I think, we need to bring to the forefront and ask those questions, guys, because just as soon as y'all start blowing up, imagine walking down the street, getting ready for a confirmation show, because I done seen them stop me and ask why I got this harness or this harness and collar on the dog. Confirmation coming up. You would think that would be a good answer, right? But it's not. Next thing you know, they pulling you like a ticket, like they do when they pull your car over. Hope you got a bottle of water. You got to damn near carry a bottle of water with you, in a little doggy pan, and a bunch of excuses to keep these people from taking this thing and running off with it. I see these TV things that PBK be putting out, right? And I'm listening to the people on the news. But if you have never experienced the exaggeration of what the news does to a case, and you probably believe what they be saying. But I know that the media, it works against us. Yeah, it does. Because one, those people ain't gonna never tell them the truth. They're gonna always give them their narrative because they're playing to the public view. As long as they can get connection with the public view, you're gonna always have them animal lovers. You go on the court, ain't done nothing wrong, but you got half your town out there calling you a piece of shit because, something real simple and really ain't against the law. But by the time they get done with your ass, they gonna make it against the law. And you really ain't never done nothing wrong. So guys, be careful with your treadmills. Be careful how you work your dogs out there in the public, because everybody don't understand those pit bulls need that. They really don't. And they'll call you, they'll call on you. So I was just sitting here thinking, when Mike was talking about the dedication and things like that, and I just go back down through there and just start thinking of all the things that I've been through, and I just don't know if it's dedication. Even being a Marine, can you say I was dedicated to the Marine Corps? I don't know if it's called dedication. Dedication? No, that's pretty tight. I was dedicated to my mom. I'm dedicated to my woman. Because they the ones your mom gonna cuss you out, your woman gonna cuss you out, but I'm dedicated. You're dedicated to them. But one thing about the dog ain't gonna say nothing, and the dog is gonna be happy even after you get done cussing him out. You know what I'm saying? You just call him, his tail gonna go to wagging. So I just don't know if this game really carries the word dedication. I think back then, in the old days with the Tudors and the Mayfields and them old guys, they were dedicated. Not because they had a bunch of dogs or not because they was just stuck on doing things with the dogs. No, I just think they was dedicated to the breed. I mean, you can be dedicated and still throw fake papers out there because they didn't show us that through history. You might be dedicated to the game and the dogs, but that doesn't mean you dedicated to being honest and truthful. I honestly believe, while we always talking about Maurice Carver, I think a lot of them old guys, we know that their reasoning is because they don't want everybody to have a recipe. But you selling the pups. You selling the pups with fake papers because you don't want to let me know your recipe. So you rather sell me a puppy and give me some fake papers. I mean, it makes sense to when I hear them say they're trying to preserve their own line. Then why sell them? Why sell them with the lie? You know what I mean? For real. Because these days, a nice bred dog upstairs, you know what I'm saying? All I need to do is have the right papers. A dog man, with the visor, he might not be able to get that one off because he got questions. They're going to have questions, And then you wonder, why is it ever a reason to swap out papers? Never got that answer. Never understood it. Yeah, I know the one answer. Everybody don't want everybody. They don't want everybody to know their secret sauce. But it's still a lie.
Itchy sent this in. This is a raw. On the baiting thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was some itchy.
Itchy sent this in. Now, this is the Florida law, y'all. I'm going to read it to you. Okay? Now, look, this is what they call baiting. Baiting means to attack with violence, to provoke or to harass an animal with one or more animals for the purpose of training an animal for or to cause an animal to engage in fights with or among the animals. In addition, baiting means the use of live animals in the training, like I guess this would be the example. In addition, baiting means the use of animals in the training of racing greyhounds. That's what I was found guilty of. So whether I mean, and it says training, it did say training, but it ain't giving me no pass.
I'll hit the bottom. What's this section is?
Now this is the section I used in my final. See, this section right here is the one I used. Remember to the jury. This section here, when they was giving out the final instructions to the jury, I asked, I knew this. I'm going to read it to you, but remember I was representing myself. I asked the judge to make sure that you put that in with his instructions because they wasn't in there. I stopped. Oh, hold on, Your Honor. Now you're missing something. But I'm gonna show you what I told him to put in because it's part of the Florida law. It says this section should not prohibit, impede, or otherwise interfere with recognized animal husbandry and training techniques or practices not otherwise specifically prohibited by law. Now, in that little section right there, I got a pass for having IV machines. I got a pass for having the medicine. You know what I mean? All that, all over that one section right there. Now, that section added to the jury instructions is what took care of all that equipment for the purpose of dogfighting.
This section shall not apply to.
Now, here's another one. And this is number 9. Yep, number 9. This section shall not apply to. Now, this one wasn't in there in my time. This section should not apply to any person simulating a fight for the purpose of using the simulated fight as a part of a motion picture, which will be used on television or in a motion picture, provided the 828.12 is not violated. Now that's 828.12 is the Animal Cruelty Act. You know what I'm saying? That's the Animal Cruelty Act. Where they, but how could it be it's not violated? Well, do it got to be a motion picture? Yeah, B. Yeah, there is B.
Motion detected at the home front.
Yeah, there is B. That was A. B. Any person using animals to pursue or take wildlife or to participate in any hunting regulated or subject to being regulated by the rules and regulations of the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. C. Any person using animals to work livestock for agricultural purposes. D. Any person violating 828.121. Any person using dogs to hunt wild hogs or to retrieve domestic hogs pursuant to customary hunting or agricultural practices. That's it. Now, 828, let me see let me just get my idea. 828 this is what 828.122 is in the state of Florida. Fighting or baiting animal, offenses and penalties. Now, it's still baiting. You see what I'm saying? Based on their law, and this is what they found me guilty of. If we got two dogs sitting up there rah at each other, we can be charged for baiting. And if they don't like the way we look, with tattoos all on our arms looking like these right here, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? You might they might get a search warrant and take all our dogs. And that's the Florida law. They got them in other states too. But they found me not guilty of all the dog fighting charges. But the one charge that they got me on was that video of me showing my man who had a animal aggressive dogs. I told him, let me keep him a week, and I'll show you how I could break his ass. Yeah. But that video, huh? Yeah, the video, it definitely helped me for not getting the dog fighting charges, because one thing for damn sure, they called it baiting, but then it said that, let me read that one more time. Like, get that back up, man. Because there's two pieces to that baiting, okay? There's two pieces to that baiting. Because the jury came to the conclusion, yeah, he was baiting, but he wasn't baiting for the purpose of dog fighting. Because if he wanted to fight the dogs, he had every opportunity to fight the dogs when he was doing that. You see what I'm saying? Now, let me get back down here where it says baiting, breeding, training, transporting, selling, owning, possessing, or using any wild or domestic animal for the purpose of animal fighting or baiting. Yes. You hear that? Any person who knowingly commits any of these following acts commits a felony of the third degree, punishable. Okay? It says baiting, breeding, training, transporting, selling, owning, possessing, or using any wild or domestic animal for the purpose of animal fighting or baiting. You see what I'm saying? Or baiting. It didn't say for the purpose of dog fighting. It said it at the very beginning. Baiting and breeding. Now at the end, it says it again. Or for the purpose of dog fighting. Remember that baiting, breeding, all that at the very beginning, right? And then at the end, it says baiting again. But it doesn't say for the purpose of dog fighting. You see what I'm saying? That's the part they got me on. Well, that was their version. Now, yeah, baiting was, here, where did I see that at? Baiting means to attack with violence, to provoke, or to harass an animal with one or more animals for the purpose of training an animal for or to cause an animal to engage in fights with or among other animals. In addition, baiting means the use of live animals in the training of racing greyhounds. That make any sense? It was for baiting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got found guilty for baiting, but that definition for what they find you guilty of is not there because it tells you in the bottom.
Right, it says, yeah. But they didn't use that at the bottom because it still don't say at the bottom with the part that final jury instruction, there was no room. This section should not be prohibited, impede, or otherwise interfere with the recognized animal husbandry and training techniques or practices not otherwise specifically prohibited by law. I don't see how that, I don't see why I should have been charged for baiting. You know what I'm saying? I was literally showing my man how I broke his dog because his dog wasn't being aggressive no more, and it wasn't even close. But just the rah 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 from Roger barking at the other dog. The other dog wasn't trying to do it. He was tired. He was through, and that was my whole purpose, to show my man that his dog will not be animal aggressive if you tire him out. You have to start tiring him out and bringing these dogs around him, and in time he will stop being so aggressive, and it does work. Trust me, it does work. But that's Florida law, and to me, there's no wiggle room in there, because that wiggle room, I don't know. I mean, really, I don't even know if y'all understand it. I still, to this day, still don't see it, because the very same thing I'm watching on the videos is the same thing that I'm trying to tell y'all, giving y'all heads up. Heads up. They found me guilty of that. They can take that and go get a search warrant and come in your house and take all your dogs. And make you figure out how to get your shit back. All because of that right there. You know, you can look it up in your state and local area. Put it in. See what they're saying. But that's the kind of stuff that they do. You know what I mean? And it's a good question, because I honestly believe it should be looked at, because what if you got a person there at the dog show that's an animal lover and don't understand why y'all doing that with y'all dogs, and sit there like any other person and videotape the shit. Now they got y'all on the news saying, is this legal? But it's at a confirmation show. How do you explain that? We tell them it's only a confirmation show. Well, what's the purpose of doing it? It's a confirmation show. To show the dog's aggressive prey drive. And then they're going to grab that book and they're going to read that baiting stuff and get them, and this is what they're going to use. They're going to use that baiting chart. It's a harassment. You are harassing these dogs to show their prey drive in a confirmation show. That's a 3rd-degree felony. That one charge to get your yard snatched up. Unless somebody can give up a better clarification in the state of Florida doing that, you can lose your dogs. That's the point that I was trying to make. And is it worth taking that chance? If you guys did not know that, you know, that's what I was bringing to everybody's attention. I wasn't like I was knocking what they was doing. What I was actually saying, it was in the state of Florida, and it's not the only state that's got that law. And they didn't worded that law. They targeting the American Pit Bull. That law was literally made for the American Pit Bull. You know, and they don't have no problem using that, you know, they try to use that to make you look bad. And they throw that for the purpose of dog fighting. You know, every time I hear them say something about my charge, they always say for the purpose of dog fighting. When I be like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong, because I was only found guilty of baiting. If I was found guilty of baiting for the purpose of dog fighting, then they would have found me guilty of all the other damn dog fighting charges that was on me. You know, but they'll say it in front of a judge. And, you know, if I'm in front of a dog court, they'll say it in front of a judge like, you know, he got He went to prison for baiting for the purpose of dog fighting. No, the hell I didn't. That down there bring up the law and read it to them and see that there's baiting at the beginning for the purpose of dog fighting. Then they got the word baiting after that at the end. What was that baiting at the end? Because there's no purpose of dog fighting at the end of that. That's what the jury found me guilty of, for just doing it. You know what I'm saying? For just doing it. Now, which one you want me to read, Mike? I thought I had my glasses.
My man Itchy said, you shouldn't have. You got railroaded. The lawyer should have worded the verbiage and how commas are used in a grammar. If nothing was attacked, it's not baiting. But if they want to F you over, they can.
Yeah, but
and
see,
they did.
That's right. It didn't say, remember, harass, engage. That's baiting. You know, that's like a rabbit, a greyhound chasing a rabbit. You know what I'm saying? No, they don't want to see the harass part.
Unless it's in a movie or used for.
Unless it's in a movie and being used in a motion picture, it's not no lawyer. I was my own damn lawyer, and I have 4 lawyers that didn't get me that damn far. Through my case, I had 4 lawyers that I had to go in front of a judge and say, I'm not getting assistant, ineffective counsel. 4 times in front of a judge, and imagine a judge granting it to me. You just can't go up in front of a judge and get rid of a lawyer like that. You got to have a damn good reason. Well, guess what? I had a damn good reason. It seemed like they was working for the damn people. I'd rather take the chance and do 20 years on me instead of a lawyer. So when it comes to taking up words and handling words, and no, I did not get railroaded. Thank God for the jury, and it wasn't a judge to make the decision, because if it was to level up to a judge, they would have found me guilty of all that shit. Thank God for the jury. You know what I'm saying? Because the jury took all that dog fighting shit out of there. You know? Hey, take me serious. If you ain't been through it, and you didn't watch 18 dogs get taken off your yard, for what? For what? And killed? No, there ain't no wording to that. And if a jury understood exactly what it meant, because before that jury, I stayed on the news, looking like Michael Vick, getting dogged. Made me out to be some bad guy. Made me out to be some great, all-American dog fighter, fought all over the world. But when it came down to the facts, where are the witnesses to put this man at a dog fight? I'm all in the journal. Judge don't even want to, if you ain't bringing nobody on the stand talking about that damn journal, talking about what he was doing in that journal, to testify that, don't bring that journal up in this damn courtroom. And see, that's what I say about YouTube. This is a podcast. I would make a terrible witness on the shit that we talk about on this show. Because if they were to come to me and play any of these videos, any one of these videos back, and try to tell me some shit, I can't tell you when, I can't tell you who, I can't tell you how. It's a podcast. Read the disclaimer. That's why we sit out here and we do what we do. You know what I'm saying? We can sit out here and throw that shit around like it's just throw it around. Unless you got a witness to get up on that stand and say, I was there. He was wearing a purple shirt and blue shoes. Well, what was you doing there? Committing a crime with me? And you sit up on the stand gonna tell on me? But you was committing a crime, so why should we believe him? You see what I'm saying? But, damn all that. Look at what they would do to your yard. You can, guys, y'all can look that shit up and y'all can keep reading it till your eyes get tired. There's no getting around that shit. Understand what I'm telling you. Don't try to get particular in fine print when they ain't using that particular fine print when they charge your ass. You gotta fight. Got breaking sticks at your house. You got treadmills at your house. All that stuff that we are allowed to have, but no, not to let them tell it. Not to let them tell it. So y'all got to pay attention. It will be used as equipment for dog fighting. Like it was for me. Like I said, thank God for a jury and thank God I didn't have no judge deciding my case. Because I don't believe no judge would have found me not guilty. You know what I'm saying? And there was no way I could, I accepted debating because there was no way around it. I mean, even though it was a training video, to show a guy that, his dog, but how did you get around that? Was I harassing the dog? Yes, that's baiting. Baiting. There's no ifs and ands and buts about it. The jury, if they could have found me not guilty of that, I would have taken and been happy. But it's kind of odd that I ended up doing 30 months for a baiting charge and 2 bottles of steroids. That seems like probation shit to me. Never had charged for anything else. Never been charged for anything else. That was pretty stiff, right? Because the media. Courtroom full of media when I get sentenced. Yeah. If you listen to my case and listen how the media did it, you would have thought it was me that was found guilty of dog fighting because it was actually my girl. My girl was the first woman in the United States that was ever convicted of dog fighting. All on the news saying that. They did their little research and said that she was the first woman convicted of dog fighting in the United States. Yeah, she's my co-defendant. Yeah, I don't get found guilty of none of that shit she was found guilty of. So please tell me this. How do you guys want to work this thing, man? And protect yourself out here doing what y'all doing. Y'all need to get up with ADBA. Y'all need to call Tom Gardner. Y'all need to go call all of them people that we can, just letting it be done. And let's see what they say. Being it's in the 10 points in the drive, the pray drive. How can we see pray drive without committing a crime and getting the chance and getting, having down there losing our animals? But look it up, 828.122 in the state of Florida. Wherever state you live in, go check your state laws and look at what I'm saying. I know in the state of Florida, we got problems. And that's what, I wasn't trying to hate on nobody. What I was pointing out is that's a real big thing to be doing to risk losing your shit. Don't try to explain it to me because I'm not going to be the judge. I'm not going to be animal control. I ain't going to be Peter coming on your yard taking your dogs and trying to charge you with something that was real innocent. What I was doing was bringing a light to a situation that I saw that got me put in prison for. And that's all I got charged for, outside of the steroids and the weed, come on. But none of the dog fighting charges. And I just want you guys to be aware. This is what the law says. And we have to do a revert and start discussing that. And start asking that question. Don't tell me about parade drive and what is so necessary, because if you was to take some shit like that to court and it was to say, well, we do that to, and it's one of the requirements during our competition, and they're going to ask that one question when you say parade drive. Parade for what? When it's a competition for confirmation. The same question that I asked. Why risk it? Let's get more understanding about it. How can, let's ask ADBA how they handle it. Let's ask Tom. These are guys that's throwing dog shows while we throw on these shows without these people. Let's get some clarity before we get in trouble. Doing something that we think is innocent because they can do it. And we don't see none of their shit getting like that. But when we start doing shit like that and we start getting big doing it, guess what? We're going to see this shit. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Answer that question right there.
Okay. Which one?
It says twin.
Twin. How come it's a difference between a white breeder versus a black breeder? To be honest, I don't think it is. I don't think it is a difference between a white breeder and a black breeder. Look, we've been dealing with white breeders for goddamn forever. It wasn't until us Latinos and black breeders started breeding when we started seeing better dogs. Okay? That's the difference. When we start breeding, we start kicking major ass. We still talking about alligator and boomerang and all that shit. We have better dogs than them dogs. We competed better than them. Believe that. Was not this their sport anymore. How many of them got out when we started getting in? Game didn't change. Yes, it did. And I don't think it's a prejudice thing. I just don't think that they was just used to it. They was not ready for change. They weren't used to change. It was their fault. They should have never started selling us their dogs. Because we don't need to keep going to you. We got your best shit. We can breed your shit and make our own shit. We don't have enough of us in the book to make that point. That's why there's going to always be great breeders. And very little black breeders. You don't even hear about them. That's the difference. We need to speak up more about the breeders that we got out here. We are the new. If it don't be for a lot of us black brothers with that Mayday shit, it wouldn't have been shit. You know what I'm saying? Mayday is just as famous as Frisco and David Tant and all that shit. And that man don't speak a bit of English. Can't understand half the shit he's saying. Man, and broke more pit bull records with that line of dogs than any damn line of dogs out here. Period. From hardcore to Stone City to Southern Kennels. That one line. And we still talking about Katie Marlowe and that Red Boy shit. You know what I mean? Come on now. Tant and yellow and all. Frisco. All them. But you know, we got more haters, or most of you black haters, over Mayday. When the dog did something, he done broke more pit bull records than any line out there. Any line. Don't want to hear it? Then you don't want to hear the truth. And he don't even barely speak English, but it wasn't him. It was the people that got his dogs that did it. We don't hear enough about them. We still talking about Earl Tudor and all them. We don't even talk about Mason and them. The only time we hear about Mason and Rosty Man and all them is when we on this shit. We don't talk about Mr. Whitley. We don't talk about none of these people. Unless we add in Hollandworth or, you know, Pat Patrick or James Crenshaw's. You know, we need to name a major white name to be heard. Really? That's the difference between white and black. You know? Bottom line. I can guarantee you one damn thing. The dogs that came out of the past, the dogs that y'all sit there and build y'all damn pedigrees off of, where y'all keep jumping way back there to the white breeders, better move up a little bit, a couple, you know, generations, and notice something. The part you forgot, they wouldn't have been nothing if it don't be in our hands. Because a lot of them dogs, them Boyles dogs, them Eli dogs, them Zebo dogs, we got a lot of black kennels that you don't want to see those journals. No, y'all so new school now that y'all don't want to see the past. How you going to carry the past into the future when y'all trying to cut the past off? But you sit there and charge a bunch of damn money for some goddamn papers of some dogs that ain't even doing shit. And you want to forget about the past because without the past, you know, you don't have to explain the game. When you bring the game in, you know what I'm saying? Your money ain't, when what you're asking for, what you're trying to do, you know, don't look too hot. You want to cut that ribbon just so y'all can sell a bunch of damn dogs. It'd be different if we had a bunch of guys out here doing shows, doing treadmills and wall climbing, but we don't. We got a bunch of damn people out here trying to sell some damn dogs all the time. Instead of hollering, just leave them old niggas back there. They ain't doing some new things. But guess what? Guess who sound like the weak asses? Just keep it real. Do that sound like somebody representing the American Pit Bull Terrier for real? Or a person trying to give you a damn excuse of why they shit is being sold and ain't doing shit? You know, just keep it real. You're sitting up there with dog fighting pedigrees. The only way you're getting the damn money you're getting. I don't read my papers. I build my own yard. You're building it with our shit. Shut up. And ain't doing nothing with it. You know, that's my opinion. Because I'm on the bus. I am on the bus standing way back here looking like that Indian be looking when he look at the country and it look like the country falling apart. When it used to be that country was such a beautiful country. Look at this shit. It's then went to shit. I'm like them. I'm like him. Looking at the dog game. All you whining asses out here trying to sell dogs and want to shut us down, and we ain't even made a book, nothing to talk about. And all the time I turn around, it's the white man's dog. Not being prejudiced, but why do I hear it all the time? If the pedigrees didn't matter with all these match dogs and champions in your pedigrees, why even worry about the damn papers then? Why you even need them? Take your pretty ass dog and sell it like it look. There's a lot of shit wrong that y'all don't want to hear me say. Y'all want to hear my attitude about it because I am definitely a bus driver. I drive that bus back here. Get your ass off the bus with your damn dogs. Get on the line. Now, we over here in my time. Oh, shit. You know how many people fall to the wayside when we get back there with me? They don't want to be back there with me because back there is where it was being proven at. Back there, your pedigree don't mean shit. That's what I'm on. I speak on things even in the now to help guys right now, like me talking about debating. And the first thing y'all thinking, I'm hating? Am I really? No, I ain't. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I can actually read it because I've read it before. I had to deal with it. Took them down there 3 years to get me to trial. 4 lawyers later to have to stand there and do it on my own. I mean, what was so hard that I could do to something that they couldn't do? I ain't paid Mason. Shit, my life was already tore apart when they took $18 and killed them off. Come on now. You know, I mean, and you see, I'm talking, and guess what? I am not even talking about anybody. I'm talking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to everybody. And there's something for y'all to really start thinking about. If we gonna do it the right way, don't you think we need to find out by talking to them how they can get away with it? Because I don't think they'll let us get away with it. I guarantee you ain't gonna have us doing a whole bunch of shows, some black-owned shows, you know what I'm saying? Letting our dogs rah-rah, to throw some points on some prey drive. How long you think they're gonna let us do it? Honestly. Question out there to be answered. Right? Hey, we ain't got enough out here doing it yet. But it'd be like that. If it just didn't jump off like y'all wanted to jump off, you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't it? Why would you think it wouldn't get like that? Anything else we try to do to only get like that? Leave it up to them. We the ones made the dog game hot. Nope, y'all made the dog game hot. Because there was a time when only y'all had all the dogs. Madison Square Garden, convention centers and shit, ties and top hats. Got the chicken Charlies up in there handling your shit. Yeah. Boy, had time changed. Y'all don't see that. Because y'all so busy stepping all over each other and stepping on each other. Y'all want to forget about a person like me. Y'all don't even want me in the room because the real dog man is in the room. You need to shut up and sit down. Because what can you talk about that, why I'm talking? The hardcores, the Masons, Southern Kennels, Stone City, Roadblock, Boot Camp Click, Lockdown Rudy, Big Ralph, the whole Detroit connection, the whole Ohio connection, the whole New York connection, the whole PA connection, the whole Florida connection, the DMV connection. There's a big ass connection of dogs out there that's in the history of this dog game that ain't in one damn book. North Carolina, South Carolina, they're all over the damn place. When we ain't in one damn book. Now we out here trying to do some damn climbing walls and confirmation, and you think we gonna be successful and we can't even get along? Everybody want to be James Crenshaw, Earl Tudor, Floyd Boudreaux, Pat Patrick with a bunch of damn paper. And call us old and raggedy and tired and it's done with. Do that really make sense to y'all? For real? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if a person don't use Roy's gonna talk shit about Roy's all day. I don't need no Roy. But you ain't ran into a person like me to use that shit either. You ain't beating me. I hear you. Yo, I ain't gonna forget Vince Cooper, man. No. And Mr. Pitts at Grand Champion Country. There's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of them. There is a lot of them. We molded the new game. The 90s was ours. Yes, sir. And everybody thought they was unbeatable, damn it. Guess what? When everybody I said who thought they was unbeatable got beat. It was easy when you was doing it over there. Shit got tough. Whole bunch of them. And for those who was able to stand in there and get in there with us, gotta take your hats off to them. Ozzy, Kenny Allen, Ricky Jones. They was there. Fat Bill. Fergie.
Frank Rocker.
Yep, Frank Rocker. They was old timers. They got in there. But guess what? They were still the old coming into a whole new era. And they felt the wrath too. Times had changed. You know? Believe that. I'm going to still tell you, old man Hargrove was a very hard man to beat. Supernat was a very hard man to beat. Ozzy Stevens was a very hard man to beat. I wouldn't even have to give it to Fat Bill. At one time, he was a very hard man to beat. You had to have a good dog. If you beat Fat Bill, you had a famous dog to beat him. There wasn't anybody to beat Fat Bill, y'all. The dog people to beat Fat Bill, they was good dog men. The guys that beat Fergie and them, they was good dog men. The guys that beat Ricky Jones, they were good dog men. These were good dog men. Times to change. The torch had moved. There's a lot of great dog men, Latinos, black. There's a few Koreans out there, wherever the hell they is. You know, they got slant eyes. I don't know what you call them, but them Asians, yeah, them Asians. They look here. You better not count them out. You know what I mean? But that's the history. We're talking about now And what are we going to do with it now? You know, take heed. I'm going to leave it on that note. It's not a long night, was it? It's going on. I'm beating 12 o'clock.
All right, fella. First thing I need y'all to do.
Get answers to any questions.
Well, first thing I need y'all to do is hit that damn like button.
Mike said hit the like button. You know, I heard PBK in one of his shows, I don't know what show it was, he was like, I'm getting tired of y'all telling y'all about hitting that like button. You know what I'm saying? And he said, if you don't hit that subscribe and y'all on my show, y'all gonna have a virus. Man, can I borrow that? Can I borrow that, bro? Damn, you got, what do you got, like 10,000 subscribers and you throwing viruses around? Can I borrow some of that? Can I make that kind of threat, bro? Can you help me out here?
Hit the damn like button.
Hit the damn like button, man. Y'all like coming to the show. And again, the like buttons ain't being traced, guys. All right? I don't know why nobody likes hitting the like button, but the likes don't get traced. Okay? You know, when somebody hit the like button over here, they don't tell us who hit the like button. It ain't like Facebook where they tell you who hit the like button. All right? These like buttons don't get traced over here. Now, the subscriptions, I don't know. So I understand why people come in this show here and, you know, and I see all the backstreet fellas that know, and I just know y'all ain't hitting no subscription. You know what I'm saying? You little night dwellers. And I understand. That's why I always show y'all the love, because I wouldn't either. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be safe, don't. But I know you're out there. And just when you come in and hear me talk about this shit, love you. So Mike gonna look for some questions. Anybody got any questions? Y'all better get them in. Anybody got any comments? Get them in. Anybody got any misunderstandings? Stand up and make it known. Yeah, that was like me speaking about church and my dedication and what I feel like is not dedication. I think it's habit. It's habit. It's habit. I don't think I was really ever dedicated to the shit. I think I was habitual to the shit. Lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know, Marines, when we go in, we stay in. You know, I don't even know if it's the dedication to be a Marine. I think there's so much honor in being a Marine because of the things that we had to do to be a Marine. And what status it made us to be that Marine. Once you made it there, you had a chip on your shoulder. And believe me, that group is world known. This whole world knows you don't want to fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? That's what it meant. You know what I'm saying? And to carry that kind of weight is like y'all got with y'all bulldogs. Let it be known. It's like, that's what it is. We are the pit bulls of this country. We are the ones you pull back into the corner to let go. Just go make that scratch when you want to get into a dog fight. And be effective. Don't go get a German Shepherd. Don't go get a Malinois. Go get that bulldog. There are not a lot of us either. The smallest branch in the United States. Military. But when shit hit the fan, go grab that bulldog. Because we going to be the first to go because we always scratch. And we going to scratch. And we going to bite hard. And we going to be game. See, that's how I feel when it comes to me and my dogs. My Malinois is just as bad as my damn pits. You know? Because we stand behind what we do. You know, I think they feed off of me. I don't feed off of them. They feed off of me. No questions? Mike said no questions.
My man Pit Dog say they just don't know, Mo.
They don't know.
Simplify, brother.
Simplify, baby. They really don't know. If you ain't ever been there, you just don't know. But there's a reason why I act the way I act. There's a reason why I am the way I am. It has a lot to do with my mom and daddy and life in the Marine Corps. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for listening, man. Take notes. Anybody got any questions, man? Y'all know the email address is right there. You know what I'm saying? I think Mike gonna start putting the phone numbers up. You know, it would have been a good time for somebody to call in. I'm pretty sure we ain't gonna have too much arguing and fussing and twin this week. You know what I mean? But, you know, only reason I really kind of brought that up is because, you know, I think people was really thinking we were trying to hate on South Bottom. Why would we want to hate on them? You know, don't ever think I'm hating because I'm being honest. They doing it. They doing it. I like what they doing. I'm just saying, as soon as we start doing shit like that, you know what I'm saying? When it seemed like it was cool before, when we start doing it, it don't be cool. I'm just letting y'all know there's a law out there. There's a law out there that they probably never use for them, that they'll use for us. So learn it and know it and beware of it.
Hey, fellas. Appreciate the love, Mr. Jason Clark. I see you, fam. Hey, y'all. Everybody get together. Come on now. If you enjoyed the show tonight, show some love. Show some appreciation. Show something that costs nothing. And that's it. Give me the damn thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles. 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 Now, give us some damn roses.
Come on.
Roses.
Come on.
We need them damn roses. Show some love, man.
Y'all. Come on now. Shout out to the big boys up there in the act right. Hey, homeboy way down here in the FL hollering at the AK. Love y'all, man.
That's what I'm talking about, fellas. Show some love.
There you go. There you go. You know how it is, boy. Y'all know, pull me back in the corner. Pull me back in the corner. Calm him down. Calm him down. Put him back in the crate. Go ahead. Put me back in the crate. I'm going back in the crate. Hey, guys, I really appreciate that, fellas. Really appreciate that. I see that. I see all that love being swung. Can I get a little bit more? Can I ask for a little bit more? Can I get a little bit more? Maybe another page of that shit? Can I get another little bit of page of that shit, please? Yeah, man. I'm feeling it. Yes, sir. Go ahead and do your what is it called? Your
my epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue. Yeah. all right. I'm gonna get it in. All right, fellas. Look, I'm gonna get around with you then. Yeah, it's like that tonight. Hey, look here, man. You know, I started off. Y'all making me feel bad because I was talking so much about being dedicated to something, and y'all right. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I had to correct myself because y'all. You're right. Dedication always leads to a lifestyle. It really does. It becomes a lifestyle. Even as a Marine, the dedication to succeed and move forward and become better at your skill to the point that when you ain't a Marine, you carry that with you. It became a part of your life. If I could do it for them, I could do it for myself. I could put that much effort in any and everything that I do that it became a part of my life. These dogs, whether it was the Malamar, German Shepherds, Doberman Pinschers, regardless of what it was, Rottweilers, they became a part of our life.
The American Pit Bull.
The American Pit Bull. This becomes a part of your life, which means I guess y'all right. It's not being a dedication. Becomes a lifestyle, and you're right. And I take my hat off for y'all correcting me. But you can't have a lifestyle unless you're dedicated to it. But it is truly what you call it. It becomes a lifestyle. So I appreciate everybody for showing up, showing out. Believe me, I didn't get too involved in it. I read all the comments. Mo gonna sit back and read the comments. I didn't even want to get too involved in it because y'all had so much going on that I just let y'all have it, because that's what the Shark Tank does. Because y'all felt what he was saying. You feel where I'm coming from. You understand the importance of what we're saying. It's not here to bash anybody. What it is just to inform you from our point of view. That's all. All this is from our point of view. And if you fall in there and you can relate to what we're saying, then maybe enough of us saying the same thing, means we on the right path. Because moving forward, believe it or not, it takes a village to raise a family. That's what they say. It takes a community to bring change. That's what they say. So if these things are said to be true, then maybe we need a tighter community to move this thing forward a lot faster. Instead of sitting down there trying to put your thumb or your foot on somebody's neck to hold them down. Communities, we're not built to put people down. Communities for success are meant to build people up. Uplifting experience.
I wouldn't be sitting here doing this shit every damn Tuesday and Friday if that's when it was, That's it.
I
would not be here.
Would be no reason to be sitting here trying to tear nobody down. Don't have that kind of time. But it is good to see everybody show up and show out. That's why if you can't do nothing, at least hit the like button. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But on top of any and everything, you know how our motto go. When all else fails,
you down there tired as hell.
Tired as hell.
You frustrated as hell.
Look, you ain't getting nowhere by staying down there. You gotta get up. And if it's in you, and you really about that, then you better always.
You better always.
I wouldn't give a damn if you don't feel like you can. You better always scratch the wound.
Love y'all, man.
Thank you for showing up, man. Y'all know we'll be back here. Y'all know we'll be back here Friday night for Hot Mic Friday. Until then, man, y'all stay safe. Hey, look, check them chains, check them cameras, check that yard.
Get some microscopes in your life.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Do all the things that we talk about, and things will get better.
Yeah.
Until then, man, y'all stay safe, man. Ain't no dog. You the dog of the night, Mo.
I'll be the dog of the night. I don't mind being the dog of the night. Yeah. I'll be the dog of the night. What's up, baby? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mo. Right. Mo. Dog of the night. Right now with the Shark Tank. Itchy. Way to go, baby. Way to go, man. You got it. Yeah, I know that. I definitely know that one. Cause I had to use that one in my trial, bro. Yes, sir. I had to use all that in my trial. Man, they don't want me doing president because I would legalize that shit and we be up there doing pay-per-view fights. You better leave me alone. Shit. I have Peter out of here. Y'all want to be a Peter? Just peach ass over there somewhere and get you an island and love each other and leave us the hell alone. You know? Shit, dog don't have no value. I could go out and spend $25,000 for a dog. The police will shoot my shit on accident and ain't gonna give me nothing but $1,000 and say that's all he worth. Yet they'll throw me in jail for years for doing what my dog wanna do. Yeah, we need a person like me being the president. Yes, sir. President, what, 28? If I'm alive. If I'm alive, we can work on that, fellas. Y'all gotta get these up. You gotta get these numbers up, though. I need an audience. You know, we need a movement. Make them snatch me out of here, like I'm Malcolm. You rise. Okay, I feel you, baby. I'm riding with you. Give me some more damn thumbs up then, fucker. Dog man of the night. Come on, muscles. Yeah, man. Go ahead and pump it up, Mike.